All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and here we go again. If y'all seen like the past few days, we've been talking about Donald Trump's potential vice president pick. So I've been covering Benny Johnson's video because, he said he got more insight of talking to some of Donald Trump's people and stuff like that. So the last video, he said that he has a feeling that it's going to be Marco Rubio that Donald Trump is going to pick for his vice president pick. So I'm like, I don't have a problem with Marco Rubio, but it just, to me, it's just so many more better names. Elise Stefanik, Byron Donalds. If you want to go with Tim Scott, I like Vivek. Vivek is like up there on my top list. That's who I would rather have is Vivek. But y'all know my main pick, I had always said Tucker Carlson. But it don't look like it's going to be Tucker Carlson. So I will go with Vivek. But I just feel like it's other better names than Marco Rubio. And that's just how I feel about it. Everybody else might be different, or like this person or like that person. But like going with like a Byron Donalds or Vivek, Elise Stefanik, somebody like that, somebody that got that bark, that'll get on that microphone and have Donald Trump back. So I don't know if that right there should be Marco Rubio, and that's just my suggestion. So I wanted to check this out because Benny uploaded this and said that he said, wow, Donald Trump used his tweet to announce his vice president pick on Truth Social. So I wanted to check this out and see exactly what it was or who it is or whatever the case may be. So like I said, make sure y'all please hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. But like I said before, I'm checking this out on Benny. He said that Trump used his tweet to announce the vice president pick. So let's check it out and let's see exactly what happened. So let's go.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. We often say that the VP stakes for Donald Trump's campaign is very much like The Apprentice, but little did we know when we started to make that comparison that we were dead on, and that Donald Trump would start using our content in the Veep stakes. Here we go, getting ahead of myself. What did we see this weekend? We saw this weekend at Mar-a-Lago a unified Republican Party. Okay, you see Michael Whatley here. He's the new GOP chairman for the Republican Party. We saw a unified Republican Party on stage. Now, you might hate that, okay? I don't like Speaker Mike Johnson at all. There's some of these people I don't really like that much. But I got to tell you, this is like every wing of the Republican Party presented on stage. Now, you see Vivek standing right behind Trump, J.D. Vance, Tim Scott. You can see Doug Burgum here, along with Byron Donalds, Elise Stefanik, and Marco Rubio was there. He must not have been on stage for this photograph. This looks like a bunch of members of the House. Right. Well, we have a senator. I guess you have two or three senators there. So, and then Mike Lee with his brand new bald haircut. Anyway, you have more than 5 of the VP contenders here on stage with Trump. And this was the photo that Michael Whatley put up and said, hey, thank you, President Trump, for hosting the RNC at Mar-a-Lago. The Republican Party is unified to win big on November 5th. Okay, so it's good to a lot of people calling for unity. I think it's very smart politically. And obviously, there should be unity in the Republican Party. I mean, we're 6 months away from a presidential election. And, well, we're fighting demonic Marxists. And so, you should like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of thing, right? We'll do the infighting after we win. Little did we know that when we tweeted, is Donald Trump's VP pick on stage, that Donald Trump would post it. Look at this. So Donald Trump on Truth Social, here's the original post. Donald Trump screenshotted our tweet and then popped it up on Truth Social, saying, is Donald Trump's VP on stage? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Trump with no comment, but is effectively saying, yes, presumably the vice president is on stage here. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are part of the Veep stakes. So there are some really interesting reports out from Mar-a-Lago. According to Sophia Kai, who is a national news reporter for Axios. Axios, I hate half of what they do, and then half of what they do is really, really great reporting. So I wish they would just cut off the performative activist class, leftist garbage, and just do straight reporting. This is straight reporting, and it's really good, actually. Okay, Trump's real-time VP reviews per Mar-a-Lago audio obtained by Axios. So this was the setup here. The setup was that Donald Trump had a bunch of people, a bunch of VP people come in and give speeches on stage at Mar-a-Lago. The RNC had their meeting there, and the VP choices were sort of auditioning for Trump, a la The Apprentice. No idea yet whether they're going to have to go do excursions or special side quest projects for Trump. I don't know. But here are the Trump audio VP reviews. So I guess somebody was recording Trump, or better yet, maybe Trump recorded Trump and sent it to Axios for publication. I don't know. I don't know. Haven't had a chance to ask about this one. Here we go. Senator Marco Rubio. His name is coming up a lot for vice president, says Trump. Senator Tim Scott. As a candidate, he did a good job, but as a surrogate, he's unbelievable. Okay. This is really important. Obviously, you need somebody to be able to make Trump's message alongside of Trump, right? Something that Mike Pence was so terrible at. Senator J.D. Vance. He wasn't a supporter of mine at the very beginning. Anyway, I got to know him a little bit. As a non-politician, he'd become one of the greatest senators. Mike Lee, I love your haircut, and is a good man too. Mike Lee he went Mr. Clean. He went full bald. So Marsha Blackburn, when she ran in 2018, she was like the Energizer Bunny. She would go from stop to stop to stop. Doug Burgum, I didn't know this. He was a supporter of mine. 2 campaigns. He's a very rich man. Okay. Christy Noem, somebody that I love. She's been with me, a supporter of mine, and been a supporter of hers for a long time. Elise Stefanik, very smart person. She's upstate New York. When I met her, little did I know she'd be such a big factor. Rep. Byron Donalds, somebody who's created something very special politically. I like diversity. Diversité, as you would say. I like diversité. Worth millions of dollars. All want a piece of Byron. Okay. Well, there you go.
Wesley Hunt.
Is Byron Donalds worth millions of dollars? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Never asked. Obviously, he's been a friend of the show. Wesley Hunt, another friend of mine, makes best commercials. Beautiful family. There you go. Rep. Michael Waltz, a man who knows more about the military. When I want to know about the military, I call him. The one that really stands out here is Marco Rubio, where Donald Trump just straight up says vice president. The term vice president. This is the response to Marco Rubio. And a lot of people have been saying that Trump is eyeing Marco Rubio as the VP pick. And a lot of people are obviously pointing to the fact that Donald Trump is already winning by a pretty wide margin here against Joe Biden. And if you want to blow Joe Biden out of the water, if you want a landslide, then you pick a sort of consensus candidate like Marco Rubio, right? Many people are, many people in the reporting class are writing that Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance, but Marco Rubio would likely be the favorite, but has a constitutional residency issue.
Wow.
Meaning that the president and the vice president can't be from the same state. So how do you get around that? Marco Rubio was asked this weekend.
Spending time with President Trump, everyone says you're on his VP shortlist, but that there may be a technical glitch with having 2 people from the same state when it comes down to an electoral college vote. Would you leave the state of Florida or change your residency if you were asked to join the ticket?
Well, first of all, the vice presidential choice for Donald Trump is going to be made by one person, and that's Donald Trump. And all this other stuff is just speculation. And I get it. Political reporters have to cover political topics. The primary is over. The general's 6 months away. So they're going to speculate on the VP thing. Here's the good news. And I saw it this weekend. The amount of talent that we have in the Republican Party is extraordinary. He doesn't just have a bunch of choices for VP. He has a bunch of choices for cabinet. He's going to have an extraordinary group of talented people that can serve this country in multiple roles. And that's a decision he's going to have to make. And I would just say, forget leaving me aside for a moment. I think that before anyone decides to move from their state, you better make sure you move to a state where there's not some DA that makes a career after going after Republicans. Because what we're seeing all over the country right now is the weaponization of our criminal justice system, not just to go after Donald Trump, which is now well documented, right? You have a Biden supporting judge, a Biden prosecutor in the most liberal county in America on ridiculous charges, and the rest of the world is watching that saying, this is the stuff that America used to sanction other countries for doing.
Okay.
Well, it's happening here in America, but I think that that's something that we need to be.
Wow. I want to take that back because I ain't gonna lie. Marco Rubio said some stuff right then because he was like, you don't want to leave your town, move somewhere for it. Now DA is going to be coming after you. You already see Biden got his judges in his back pocket that's trying to take down Trump. He said a lot of truth right there. I'm not going to lie. He said a lot of truth right there because when you leave your state to go somewhere else, now you got corrupt Letitia James coming after you because you support Donald Trump. You got Fannie Willis trying to come after you. You got all of these corrupt people, Alvin Bragg. You got all these corrupt people. And in all of these states, they got Joe Biden, got these corrupt judges in his back pocket that he's pretty much probably paying under the table. And that's exactly what Marco Rubio is saying. So I got to get a man his props right there. But at the same time, me personally, like I said at the beginning of this video, I just feel like it's, other better picks than Marco Rubio. Not saying Marco Rubio is a bad man. I don't like him. I don't have no problem with Marco Rubio. I'm just saying I feel like it's better picks, like a Byron Donalds, Vivek, Elise Stefanik. So it just, I'm still going to keep saying Tucker, because Tucker's like been my number one pick. But he said a lot of truth right there. So I definitely agree with Marco Rubio on that. So let's take that back, and I want to listen to it again.
Presidential choice for Donald Trump's going to be made by one person, and that's Donald Trump. And all this other stuff is just speculation. And I get it. Political reporters have to cover political topics. The primary's over. The general's 6 months away. So they're going to speculate on the VP thing. Here's the good news. And I saw it this weekend. The amount of talent that we have in the Republican Party is extraordinary. He doesn't just have a bunch of choices for VP. He has a bunch of choices for cabinet. He's going to have an extraordinary group of talented people that can serve this country in multiple roles. And that's a decision he's going to have to make. And I would just say, forget leaving me aside for a moment. I think that before anyone decides to move from their state, you better make sure you move to a state where there's not some DA that makes a career after going after Republicans. Because what we're seeing all over the country right now is the weaponization of our criminal justice system, not just to go after Donald Trump, which is now well documented, right? You have a Biden supporting judge, a Biden prosecutor in the most liberal county in America on ridiculous charges. And the rest of the world is watching that saying, this is the stuff that America used to sanction other countries for doing.
Okay.
Well, it's happening here in America. But I think that that's something that we need to be focused on, because I do think that has an impact on people's thinking about getting into politics.
So, listen, This is very interesting. Marco Rubio giving the non-answer answer there. The non-answer answer after multiple news reports, including Bloomberg, said he's on the finalist 4 list.
Yeah.
The final 4, Marco Rubio, Doug Burgum, Tim Scott, and J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance asked about that final list.
Being vetted? Are you having conversations about joining the ticket?
I talked to President Trump a lot. We're very close. I've never spoken to him about being vice president, so I assume that a lot of this is media speculation. Of course, if he asked me, I'd have to think seriously about it, because I think it's really important that he win. The world is on fire, and I sort of see Donald Trump as a bit of a fireman.
Okay. Thanks so much.
All right.
He's such a sharp dude. All right. So Tim Scott went on corporate media, went on MSNBC, NBC, and got the same question. It was a great interview all around, but here we go.
Donald Trump. But just to be very clear, it didn't come up at all? Do you think you're on the short list?
No, ma'am, it did not come up. African American unemployment rate is 6.4 today.
But what about being VP? What about being President Trump's VP? Did it come up at all? Do you think you're on the short list?
I hope that the president will choose a person who helps the country unite and heal. I certainly expect to have a decision from President Trump in the next 60 days or so, but he did not bring it up. I certainly didn't bring it up. I'm excited that in this nation, a poor kid from South Carolina could rise to the level of being a United States Senator. It just tells me that all things are possible for kids growing up in poverty today. Listen to this show and know that all things are possible for your future.
So this was the article that was being referred to here. Trump auditioned VP pick before wealthy donors. Vance, Rubio, Burgum, and Scott are the leading contenders. Trump says he will announce a running mate in July. So we still have a few months before we get probably a pick. What does Donald Trump have to say about this reporting?
My favorite for what? Who's my favorite for vice president? Well, I'll be making that determination sometime prior to the convention.
Yeah, so Donald Trump, everyone's staying very tight-lipped, and everyone is demurring.
Yeah, if you look at it, ain't nobody trying to say nothing, because you see, like, as the other reporter, I think, what's that, Christine? But, she trying to force it, boy. She trying to get her a sound bite. Just want Tim Scott to just break the news. And they were like, and all of them really had the same answer, like, I don't know, I ain't spoke to him about that, Well, we shall see, though, but obviously, y'all heard what I had to say about it, who I think it should be. But, hey, guess we'll find out in July.
Every candidate is saying, oh, hold on. No. We're going to talk about something else here. Byron Donalds was actually my favorite hit from the weekend. Byron Donalds is a superstar.
I like Byron Donalds, man.
And a absolute baller out of Florida. I think he has a huge career ahead of him. Huge groundswell of support, making all the right political moves, along with coming on our show, of course, and being a friend of our show. Byron Donalds showing exactly what you do when you're asked a question like this.
Let's go.
This weekend, he was able to go down to Mar-a-Lago for a major donor retreat featuring a handful of prospective VP possibilities. I know you were there. Congressman, talk to me about the state of the Trump campaign, considering what they're up against when your candidate can't travel, can't do events, can't fundraise. Still looks like a very strong showing. What'd you see?
Well, first, the campaign is in great shape. The president is in great spirits, even though he's having to deal with these crazy Biden trials that have all been pulled together by Joe Biden and the crazy Democratic left. But look, you got to understand a couple of things. Donald Trump is he's not gonna wither under these attacks. It's only going to make him stronger. And the polling demonstrates this. We're now leading in all of the battleground states because the people are seeing that Donald Trump has the strength to stand against the radical left, and America remembers what his presidency was all about. So I would implore Americans, make sure you get out there, you vote for Donald Trump. We need strength on the world stage. We need strength here at home. Joe Biden's been a disaster of a president. And so when you were there this weekend with a lot of people supporting the president, over 400 people coming to support the president and the Republican National Committee, it demonstrates the strength and the resolve. You couple that with poll numbers, and then, of course, the reality that Joe Biden, the master of disaster himself, is the very worst president our country has seen. That is why people are rallying around President Trump.
Byron Donalds is correct.
Yep.
Look at this new poll out from. This was published. This was published seconds ago, literally seconds ago. Trump, 10 points over Biden. This is the national general election. Yep. Trump 12 points over Biden when you include third-party candidates like West and Stein and RFK Jr. This is gonna be a landslide.
It is.
As long as Republicans make smart choices and unify. And I think this is going to be a sea change election. I think this is going to be the end, ladies and gentlemen, of the woke moment. You're starting to see that all across culture, politics, Hollywood, the recording industry. Everyone is kind of done. Everyone's kind of sick of it. Everyone's had like a good solid dose of wokeness.
Yep.
And they're saying this is it. We're finished with this garbage. Donald Trump using our tweets.
But you have to look at it. Benny posted it and said, "Is Donald Trump's VP pick on this stage?" If Donald Trump with him reposting that and putting it on his Truth Social, it had to be the truth. Because if it wasn't true, Donald Trump would have never reposted it. And that's just a fact. So it's definitely somebody on this stage. Definitely. I can bet you that.
To project who he will be nominating as VP, we're here for it.
Shout out to Benny, man. Another great video. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Now, I do agree with Marco Rubio on what he was saying about these judges. Biden got these judges in his back pocket. They just trying to take Donald Trump down. He don't know if it's a good idea to be moving to a state where he feel like a Letitia James or a Fannie Willis will be trying to come after him because of his support of Donald Trump and him being the vice president. So it's a lot, but I just feel like I just hope it be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's Donald Trump's choice. We shall see. Seems like it's going to be in July when he decides to make that pick. And I'll be right here waiting and reporting on the news. So like I said, thank you all for watching. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.